Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, this time for the Mexican Grand Prix and the fourth from last race of the season. If you guys missed the last episode, then go watch it by clicking the link in the top right hand corner for the Japanese Grand Prix, guys, to watch the last episode in which there was a safety car, my first ever safety car on this game. But guys, this episode we are here at Mexico and there is a strong possibility we can win the World Drivers' Championship if we outscore Sergio Perez by 5 points. In terms of the weather forecast, we have no rain expected, nice dry conditions all the way through. In terms of upgrades, nobody brought any upgrades except for Ferrari, who brought a small little upgrade this weekend. And yeah, overall the things are kind of plateauing as we do have a big regulation change announced for next year. And I will be doing a team choice video soon regarding, what the future is for season number 5. But guys, we are now going to jump into qualifying here at Mexico at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And today we're going to try and have a decent session once again because our qualifying has been pretty okay lately. And I want to try and keep that going. So currently you can see here in qualifying, this was the first of 3 runs in this session, and this was my first lap, and it was actually not that bad, to be fair. The car was working well. I felt confident after practice that I had a good package underneath me, and it did translate from practicing to qualifying quite nicely for a change, which is something I have struggled with in the past. As we cross the line here for my first run, we go PE3, 1.5 tenths off the pace, so not too bad to kick things off here in qualifying as we now move on to our second run. And I was actually improving and going faster here, about a tenth up as we make our way into the S's, and it was going pretty damn well. And I knew there's a bit more time through the third sector also if I could hook it up. And you'll see here now as we cross the second sector split, we are currently P6, Sainz now leads the way, and we're just purple in the middle, only marginally off, but we lock up and run a bit wide, unfortunately for us, and that is going to put an end to our second attempt as that lock up just ruined our momentum completely going into the baseball stadium. But now we're going to run aboard for a full lap of the Mexico City circuit here, and we're going to try our best to see if we can try and improve. We're currently in 8th place, so we need to step up. The grid is really, really close. It's such a short lap, and I think the top 16 are covered by a second, so we need to improve. And Ganzi currently has set the pace in the Alfa Romeo. So here we go, towards turn 1. You want to brake at the 50-meter board as your reference. Try and get down to 4th and then get down to 3rd later on. So don't go down to 3rd straight away, otherwise you will spin the car. You have to kind of be progressive on your downshifts. Then we get a really good exit out of turn 3 and use some overtake mode on this back straight as we go down towards turn number 4. Once again, turning in and braking at the 100-meter board. Again, down to 3rd and then later on a little bit more down to 2nd. But again, patience is key. Short shift back up to 3rd on the exit of the chicane and then down into the hairpin. Again, really important to get the 2nd apex and get that good exit as we improve. And we're now almost 2 tenths up as we make our way into the S's. Keeping it in 6th gear for this first one. Throwing the car in. Absolute full commitment. Flat out through here. And then a small little lift for this right-hander. And then flat all the way through using overtake mode once again on the ERS, and we're 3.5 tenths up here, and we are purple and up by a fraction. As we go into the baseball stadium, this time we throw the car in, no lockups, really, really nice line, and now a little bit of a lockup into the hairpin. We just about get away with it though, and get a pretty good exit, as we're now nearly 6 tenths up here, as we go through the final corner, quickly back on the gas, keeping the car to the right hand side for the shortest run to the line, and we are going to improve, and it is P1 for now, as we get into the 1 minute 10s, the first man to do so with the purple middle and final sector. The question is, will we stay there for the rest of the session? And the answer is yes indeed, as we secure pole position, my first one in quite a while, by 5 thousandths of a second over my teammate Carlos Sainz. A really, really close qualifying. Only the McLarens in the 1 minute 10s, and it's going to be a front row lockout for both of us here in qualifying, and a very good session here today, and we're really well placed for this race and potential winning the championship, as Perez is in 3rd place with Gasly in 4th. But overall guys, that's it for qualifying here today at the Mexico City circuit, and we're now going to move into the race for round number 18 of the season for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Formula One may have been absent from Mexico for 23 years, but after 2015's triumphant return, it was as if we'd never been away. In Mexico, a Grand Prix is more than just a race. It's a celebration of speed and of bravery. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in the stadium today. They'll be drowning out the cars with their noise as they make their way through on lap 1. At 2,285 metres above sea level, the thin air of the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez poses a unique challenge, not just to a driver's skill, but to the efficiency of their engines as well. 17 corners make up a lap of this 2.6-mile circuit, and you can expect incredible speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and overtaking too into the hard braking zones of turns 1 and turn 4. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. And thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and talented Spaniard Carlos Sainz completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Gasly, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Verstappen, Russell, Ricciardo and Kevin Magnussen, Vettel, Kvyat, Nico Hülkenberg and Giovinazzi, Norris, Stroll, Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas. Albon, they've taken a grid penalty, and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, here we are then, P1 for the Mexican Grand Prix, starting on the front row. Alongside me, Carlos Sainz making it, and McLaren front row lockout. In terms of the strategy though, we are going to start the race on the soft tyres that we qualified on, and then move on to the mediums. The team and the game recommends a one-stopper, which is quite rare around here, especially onto the mediums. So we'll see how that one progresses. Traditionally, normally the two-stopper is what you do around here, but we'll see how that works in terms of strategy. Personally though, the target is simple. We just need to outscore Perez really, and we should be looking pretty good. In terms of the start though, it is a massive straight, and if I'm still P1 by turn 1, I'll be very, very impressed, because I feel like the AI are going to be all over the back of me. But let's try to do our best. Hopefully we can get a good start, and fingers crossed we could try and carry some momentum, maybe protect the inside line into turn 1 and try and make it work. Either way, let's get racing and let's try and win this championship. Right, here we go then. Start absolutely critical here to try and get as much of a head start as possible, as 5 lights are on. Lights out and away we go. Not a terrible start as we get away reasonably well. I'm going to tuck in behind Sainz to use his toe as we both hold the inside line. Using his slipstream, I'm going to be able to go to the outside. Sainz holds the inside line, which is okay. That's fine by me. We use each other there as a team would do to hold on to our 1-2, and that's really nicely done. We lost the place of Sainz, but that's okay. The crucial thing is that we're still 1-2, which is crucial for the constructors, because we're looking pretty good in that championship as well. So important to try and deliver both of those titles. The constructors might arrive a little bit later, but you know, we're still on course to do that. But for now, this is good. 1-2, and crucially, Perez is not in third place anymore. He's actually lost some ground actually, so that's also good for the championship. So no complaints. I don't mind losing a position as long as it's to my teammate, and Sainz does need the points in the fight for, for 5th in the championship with Hamilton, so hopefully we can help him out there. But so far, he's got a good pace, he's pulling away already, so let's see how we get on. I do worry a little bit about tyre overheating around here, so I've got to try and drive smoothly. Rear tyres get absolutely fried around this circuit, so we've got to try and keep those as long as we can. So yeah, lap 1 draws to a close. Hamilton leaning on the back of me here, putting some pressure on already, so we've got to try and be careful. But so far so good as we go on to the second lap of the Grand Prix. Good lap from us there, responding well to the pace.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
I was hoping to have cleared Hamilton from DRS range. He is 9/10 behind, so it's pretty close, but we're keeping Carlos at range, which is good. Let's see if we can have a good lap here and try and pull out over a second gap to Lewis preferably, and then we'll be okay in this race. Perez currently in P6, so as things stand, we would win the championship in this race. Another personal best, good pace, consistent pace, and we have now cleared Hamilton. He's 1.1 behind. This is good for us. Let's try and keep it that way, as I think Hamilton's going to get overtaken here by Pierre Gasly, I believe, in the Alfa Romeo. So again, more chance for us to pull away. Yellow flag. Oh no. Oh, thank God. I thought it was Carlos for a minute there, but it's actually Gasly behind in the Alpha, who's slowing down. That's good. We'll get confirmation soon, and there it is. Gasly out of the race. No safety car VSC though, so we'll continue on our way. So far so good. The actual tyre wear on the rears is not that bad. They keep down the control quite nicely. Same goes for the tyre temperatures. And we're just keeping the gap really. I'm pretty comfortable here in second place. Like I said, Perez is nowhere to be seen. And I believe as things stand, we will win the championship. So we're just doing our own race and not worrying about anything else. Just treating it like any other race. And I think I do have the pace to get past Sainz, just not on these tyres. So I'm having to drive a little bit conservative. If I was driving a bit quicker, a bit more full pace, I think I'd have the chance. Because I know Sainz is more on the full pace side of things. He doesn't have to worry so much about tyre temperature and tyre wear. So we're looking okay. I'm quite happy as things stand. Carlos pits. Okay. Interesting stop. Quite early to be fair. Let's see if Lewis pits.
Carlos is in for his stop.
Lewis stays out. Maybe he's on the same strategy as me. Either way, we're going to commit to the team strategy here. So, got a little bit longer on these tyres. Quite a few more laps to be fair. It's a long stint. What we've got to do. Okay, Lewis pits. So we're going to be out front by ourselves. And potentially exposed to an undercut from Lewis by staying out this long. I've still got quite a few more laps to go. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to make it, to be honest with you. But I'm going to try and make it work. Even though it means the tyres are going to probably go well into the 60% range. Really struggling for grip now. The pace is really poor. Just a few more laps to go now though. But I am really struggling on these. Like, I'm driving quite smoothly, just there's no real grip on the car anymore. And every single lap is about 1 point something off the personal best. We see the tyres now 50% on both rears. We've actually managed that quite well. The rears have not been too overexposed. Temperature's nicely under control, which is good. Just struggling for general grip as Sainz picks up the fire side of the Grand Prix.
Okay, we don't think these tyres have much more to give. They're showing a fair amount of wear and they're going to start causing you problems.
Yeah, they've got nothing left. I can tell you that for a fact. I can tell you that for free. 57 on the left rear.
Okay, remember to pit this lap.
Yeah, we're going to box in with pleasure. It's been a long stint. Tyres are screaming now, but we've made it. Let's make sure we just end the lap strongly as we box in. There we go, attacking the curb into the pit lane. Here we go. Slow it down, do not overcommit, and there we go. Right. We'll probably rejoin in third place behind Lewis. We've definitely lost that. I think he's undercut us quite comfortably, but like I said, we're playing the long game here, so we're going to go into mediums.
Exit now.
2 seconds flat. I think, yeah, we're going to rejoin behind Lewis, hopefully in clean air in third. That'd be ideal for us. Here we go. Let's turn the engine up and get up to speed straight away.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
There we go. We will rejoin just in front of Alex Albon, which is good. Forget the fastest lap today. We're just going to try and focus on, track position. So Sainz and Hamilton do have a stop left, whereas we don't. We're going to the end on these now. So let's try and keep a good pace for the next couple of laps and try and keep Lewis in our sights. And we should be okay, I think, in this race to at least get a podium. Here's my attempt for a purple lap, even though I don't think I'm going to get it. And there we go. 13.9, not quite enough, but still a good pace. And we're keeping in there, which is good. Half race distance pretty much now, 18 out of 36. We're almost there.
Caution, caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Nico Hülkenberg out of the race once again. I feel like the Renault keeps retiring every single Grand Prix, but Sainz and Hamilton do not use that to pit, which is quite interesting. We're going to get a chance to save fuel in the ERS, which is fun, and also get the temperatures under control. But I don't mind this. This is okay for us.
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
VSC ending.
Okay, clear.
There we go. We got that relatively okay. I think we lost a bit of time, but forget about it. Let's just get back up to speed now. There is Hülkenberg. Anyway, let's get back to racing. Another personal best hit. 13.9, but once again, it's not the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so we'll probably give up on that now, as that was my best attempt now. So, yeah, we're doing okay. We're matching Lewis's pace. We're actually a little bit quicker than him on that last lap, so this is good. Those soft tyres are starting to fade, so it's important to use these laps to try and close in on Lewis and also Carlos as well. Carlos pits.
Carlos is in the pits.
Lewis stays out for one more, presumably, like the first stint, but we are going to inherit second place. Carlos onto the medium tyre. And the gap that we have is the gap we've got to defend for the rest of the race pretty much. So let's see how that progresses. Tyres so far so good, 12% on the rears. I think we will be struggling on our tyres a little bit coming into the race, but it'll be manageable. We can get away with it, I think. And Lewis Pitts, there we go. Back into first place. Now, can we defend this lead for the rest of the race? Let's find out. It's going to be interesting. I'm running high ERS mode. I'm going to keep it there pretty much for as long as I need to. And I'm going to keep the little bit of fuel I have as well. Sainz 10.5 behind. Give or take. Make that 9.8. So there you go. There's the gap. We've got to defend that for the remaining 13 or so laps of this Grand Prix. Make it 14. At the minute for the championship, it's looking pretty good. Sainz in second. Verstappen in third, actually. I think Verstappen's yet to pit, though. I think he's on the reverse strategy, so he's going to go in for softs. And then I know Hamilton is in a net third, and to be honest with you, I've not seen no sign of Perez at all on the racetrack. So if I run the math, even if I finish second in the race and Hamilton finished third, if Perez got fourth at best, I'd still win the championship by 1 point. So it's looking pretty good for us, and unless Perez pulls out an absolutely miraculous final stint, we're looking good for the championship.
Right, some information on Ricciardo. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
That doesn't affect us, although I think that might benefit Perez. Not quite sure where he is on track, but if he is battling Ricciardo, then that's going to help him. I'm just looking now at the gap. We're looking pretty good. Sainz is quicker than me, so I will not hesitate to let him go by because we don't need the points, and Sainz does in his battle against Hamilton. So I don't mind, doing the deed and doing one for the team because it secure the 1-2 without a doubt, and also it's pointless battling Sainz when I'm pretty much on course to win the championship here. So hopefully we can make that happen, and Sainz can benefit. Right, we're going to let Carlos go here. He's 1 second behind. I'm not going to push too much in this sector. I'll let him get DRS quite easily and pass me in the pit straight. This entire stint I've been cruising, really. I could have pushed a lot harder, but we don't need the points, and I want to help Sainz out as well. So here we go, at the final corner. I'm not going to turn the engine up. I'll just let Carlos do this the old-fashioned way. Here he goes. Easy does it, and Carlos takes back first place, and hopefully he can win the race. And now we've just got to keep Hamilton behind us with 4 more laps to go in this Grand Prix, so let's do that. And it could be another solid 1-2 for us, and a massive points haul that could help us out in the Constructors' Championship. Here we go then, through the S's for one final time on the last lap of the Grand Prix. And it's been a good season from us, really strong, lots of race wins, lots of podiums. And it was going to happen today because, Perez had to outscore me by over 20 points to keep the championship race alive as the confetti flies here in the baseball stadium as we now make our way through the final few corners. Carlos Sainz will win the race here today, and GG's to him. Our start line taxes were perfect on that one. We kept the 1-2, and now we're going to come through the final corner, and I'm now a 2-time Formula 1 world champion. Yes.
This is it. You've become the Drivers' World Champion after that result. Wonderful job and well deserved.
Brilliant stuff from McLaren today. What a superb victory. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium.
You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. That was an epic battle today. How do you think this will play out? Great. Well, that's everything.
Right, so here we have the final race results, and for some reason they didn't show the animation of the World Championship being won for some reason. Either way, I'm not going to complain. 2 McLarens on the podium, happy days as Carlos Sainz wins and we come home in second place. And like I said before, the tactics, lap 1 at the start, using the slipstream and covering the track to make sure no one got past was spot on. And then we just drove off into the sunset, really. We were the quicker car and we had the better package. Hamilton in third in the Racing Point. Good performance from him. Max Verstappen P4 with the fastest lap in the Red Bull ahead of Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Sebastian Vettel P7 ahead of Albon, Stroll and Giovinazzi. Ferrari scoring points with both cars once again. But Sergio Perez only P11 on a 2-stop strategy. I wonder if he had damage, possibly some car issues, but yeah, his pace wasn't there today, and Perez, unfortunately, his championship charge comes to a halt at his home Grand Prix. Disappointing for him. Ricciardo 12th, Kvyat 13th, Bottas, Norris, Magnussen, Raikkonen, Grosjean all finishing in the outside the points positions, and then Hülkenberg and Gasly retiring from the Grand Prix here today for Renault and Alfa Romeo respectively. In terms of the standings though, mathematically now 114 points clear of Leclerc and Perez, the pair of them, and also with that win, Sainz closer to Hamilton. And, he's in contention. Hamilton needs to drop a few points, I think. But that battle between Sainz and Hamilton is well and truly on. And hopefully Sainz can win the last 3 races and try and give himself a chance. There's a lot of points up for grabs still. And he could still push up and gain a few more places. But in terms of the constructors, we've actually gained more points than I thought. And we're 90 points clear. So if my math is correct, we can afford to actually drop points in the next race in Brazil. We could actually lose as much as 3 points, and that would still give us a Constructors' Championship against Racing Point. So that's the target in the next Grand Prix, try and secure the Constructors, and that would be both bags secured for the season, and a really, really strong season 4 this year in McLaren. My debut, and probably our last season in the team, so really, really happy to see that. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode here today. If you guys enjoyed the video, then by all means, please do drop a like on the video. Greatly appreciate it for winning the championship, and also subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And also finally guys, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next one very soon guys. But until then, it's goodbye from me.